The myth of Perseus and Medusa, symbolism of the battle between good and evil. Hello, dear viewers. I am pleased to welcome you to our exciting journey into the world of ancient Greek mythology. Today we will discuss one of the most famous and captivating myths, the story of Perseus and Medusa, the Gorgon. This myth, filled with dangerous adventures, divine interventions, and the triumph of good over evil, is a classic example of the ancient Greek heroic epic. The story of Perseus is not just a tale of bravery, but also a lesson on how important it is to face your fears, remain persistent in achieving your goals, and be open to accepting help from those willing to lend a hand. Let's dive into this amazing story together to better understand the symbolism, cultural significance, and the influence of the myth of Perseus and Medusa on modern notions of heroism and the battle against evil. Perseus, the hero of ancient Greek mythology. Perseus is one of the greatest heroes in ancient Greek mythology. His story begins with an unusual myth about his birth. Perseus was the son of Zeus, the supreme god of Olympus, and Danae, a mortal woman. According to legend, the king of Argos, Acrisius, was warned by an oracle that his grandson would be the cause of his death. Fearing for his life, Acrisius locked his daughter Danae in a tower so that she would never bear a child. However, Zeus, taking the form of golden rain, entered the tower and became the father of Perseus. When Acrisius learned of Perseus' birth, he did not dare to kill his grandson directly, fearing the wrath of the gods. Instead, he locked Danae and the newborn in a chest and cast them into the sea. The chest washed ashore on the island of Seriphos, where they were taken in by a fisherman named Dictys, the brother of King Polydectes. Thus began the life of Perseus, who grew up unaware of his noble origins. Medusa, the Gorgon, a legendary monster. Medusa the Gorgon is one of the most famous mythological creatures in ancient Greek legends. Medusa was one of the three Gorgons, daughters of the sea deities Phorcys and Sato. Unlike her sisters, Stheno and Euryale, who were immortal, Medusa was mortal. She had a terrifying appearance, snakes instead of hair, sharp fangs, and a gaze that could turn living creatures to stone. However, Medusa was not always a monster. According to legend, she was once a beautiful woman, but after being seduced by Poseidon in Athena's temple, the enraged goddess transformed her into a monster as punishment for defiling her sacred temple. Turned into a terrifying creature, Medusa lived in isolation, hiding from the world. Perseus' task. The story of Perseus and Medusa begins when King Polydectes of Seriphos, wanting to get rid of Perseus, sent him on what seemed like an impossible mission to bring back the head of Medusa. This was a dangerous task, as anyone who looked at Medusa would immediately turn to stone. Polydectes expected Perseus to die in the attempt, but Perseus, proud and brave, accepted the task to defend the honor of his mother, Danae, whom King Polydectes was trying to force into marriage. Perseus received help from the gods, who wanted to support the hero in his mission. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, gave him a shield polished to a mirror-like shine so that he could look at Medusa's reflection, avoiding her deadly gaze. Hermes, the messenger of the gods, gifted Perseus winged sandals, allowing him to fly, as well as a sword sharp enough to decapitate the Gorgon. Additionally, Hades, the god of the underworld, provided Perseus with a helmet of invisibility, allowing him to hide from his enemies. The journey and battle with Medusa. Armed with divine gifts, Perseus embarked on a long journey to find Medusa's lair. According to the myth, His path led through the land of the Graeae, ancient beings who were the sisters of the Gorgons and shared only one eye and one tooth among them. Perseus cleverly stole the eye and tooth, forcing them to reveal the way to the Gorgons. When Perseus reached Medusa's lair, he found her sleeping. Using Athena's shield as a mirror to avoid her gaze, Perseus slowly approached Medusa and, without looking directly at her, struck with his sword, cutting off her head. From Medusa's neck, the myth says, two beings emerged, the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Chrysaor. After defeating Medusa, Perseus quickly left the Gorgon's lair as her immortal sisters, Stheno and Euryale, began pursuing him. However, thanks to the helmet of invisibility, Perseus was able to evade them and successfully complete his mission. Perseus's return and his deeds after the victory. On his return with Medusa's head, Perseus accomplished several more heroic feats. During his journey, he flew over the land of King Cepheus, where he encountered a giant sea monster sent by Poseidon to devastate their lands. Cepheus, to save his people, was forced to sacrifice his daughter Andromeda by chaining her to a rock in anticipation of the monster. Perseus, upon seeing Andromeda, immediately fell in love with her and decided to save the girl. Using Medusa's head, he turned the sea monster to stone and freed Andromeda. In gratitude, Cepheus gave him his daughter in marriage, and Perseus continued his journey with his new bride. When Perseus returned to Seriphos, he found that King Polydectes continued to harass his mother. In a fit of anger, Perseus used Medusa's head to turn Polydectes and his followers into stone statues. Afterward, Perseus gave Medusa's head to Athena, who adorned her shield with it, making it a symbol of her power and wisdom. Conclusion. The myth of Perseus and Medusa the Gorgon continues to occupy a central place in Greek mythology and humanity's cultural heritage. This story not only recounts a heroic deed, but also symbolizes the eternal struggle between good and evil, the overcoming of fear, and the triumph over fate through intelligence and bravery. Perseus, as an archetypal hero, embodies the human qualities necessary to overcome external threats, while Medusa represents uncontrollable forces of nature and destruction. Moreover, the myth of Perseus emphasizes the importance of the connection between gods and mortals, showing that even the strongest hero cannot succeed alone. The assistance of Athena, Hermes, and Hades highlights the role of higher powers in determining the fate of mortals, suggesting that success is achieved not only through personal qualities, but also through harmonious interaction with the world around us. Today, the myth of Perseus and Medusa continues to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers, finding reflection in art, literature, and pop culture. It teaches us resilience, courage, and that even the most difficult challenges can be overcome if one acts wisely, with the support of loved ones, and with confidence in their mission. If you enjoyed this material, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss new fascinating articles and explorations in the realm of mythology and ancient history.